Price now. And that throw is incomplete, as once again he was targeting Austin Seferian-Jenkins. All right, Matt, what's the game plan for Washington?
Well, the first one you just saw, they've got to be able to win on first down, and that's going to be at least 5 yards. Then they've got to get Sankey in space. He's one of those guys who can make plays for you. And defensively, they've got to be athletic and tackle in space. If they can get those things done, they'll have a shot.
This is a Washington offense that's missing 4 offensive linemen that were projected to be starters this year. Some pressure now as they set up the receiver screen, and gobbled up right away was J-Don Mickens by Kiko Alonso.
Kiko Alonso read it right away. You know, so did the defensive line of Oregon. As soon as they felt no pressure, they all stopped and redirected. But Kiko Alonso, 47, he feels it. He's going to feel it right away. See, he was also in man coverage, so that took him right to his coverage to the outside.
Alonso quick to get in there. Defensive MVP of the Rose Bowl a year ago. 3rd and 13 now.
This is where they didn't want to be. 3rd and long.
Price downfield, and that ball was well overthrown as he saw Cason Williams streaking down the near sideline.
You know, Tess, we said they didn't want to get in 3rd and long. Conversely, this Oregon defense wants them in 3rd and long because they believe that's where they can really get after that offensive line. They believe they hold the cards when it comes to the pass rush.
Anthony Thomas back out there, leading the Pac-12 in punt returns. Travis Coons, who has double duty for Oregon, also the punter. And that's a fair catch near the 10-yard line. Scoreless here early at Austin.
Tomorrow at 8:30 on ESPN.
Continue on Dr. Pepper's road to the championship. What's the game plan for Oregon you came up with?
Well, the first thing they're going to have to diagnose and then execute. By that I mean most teams play Oregon different than they've played everybody else. So you have to be able to see exactly what it is they're giving you and then play. They've got to win the space and the battle in space. They need to get their people out in space and make big plays.
Will Murphy with the reception there for about 3.5 yards, tackled by Trufant. Trufant came up with a fine defensive effort on Oregon's first possession. Shaq Thompson secured the interception. Kenyon Barner to the 20-yard line. That's very close to the line to make.
That inside zone.
Move the chains.
You know, Tess, so much has been talked about with this Oregon offense, and the inside zone and the outside zone. They really don't run a lot of plays. They run about maybe 5 or 6 plays, but they really run them well. And those 2 plays, that inside and outside zone, they run extremely well.
Mariota tried to secure that snap once again and then overthrew the intended target, Colt Lyerla. They didn't get a good grip on that shotgun snap again.
Just a week ago, Marcus Mariota probably had the worst of his games, but it doesn't faze him, and he just gets right back up on that horse.
And Jan Barner pushed back that time at the 23-yard line by Travis Feeney and Sean Parker.
And Sean Parker, number 1, that's a good football player. He's a safety. He comes down in the box. He comes with good angles. He's a good tackler, something you're not seeing in football right now. Is good tackling, but Sean Parker shows you how to do it.
See what Justin Wilcox dials up here, the Washington defensive coordinator. 3rd and 7. They only bring 4 against Mariota. And they get to him. That was Andrew Hudson.
Hudson got him to turn around and thank his secondary because they took everything away. Mariota was looking down to his left, and the double coverage down below between the safety and the corner took it away, and that result is a sack.
Something just starting to click with this Washington defense the past couple of weeks. Jackson Rice on to punt for Oregon, something you don't hear often. Marvin Hall muffs the ball, and Oregon on top of it. That was B.J. Kelly playing special teams, and Oregon will be in prime position after the turnover.
Can't beat yourself, Tess.
Was muffed, therefore it cannot be advanced by the kicking team. First down, Oregon, 20-yard line.
Ifo Ekpe-Olumu is the one, number 14, who was able to get that hit and force the play, but you cannot beat yourself. And that right there is a tough way to do it.
Just putting the ball and cresting that 20-yard line. Remember what Coach Sarkisian said about red zone defense. Well, now's the time. As Kenyon Barner tries to find room and gets his way to the 16-yard line. Barner and Thomas in the backfield with Mariota here on 2nd and 6. Anthony Thomas, how about that? Couple moves and right into the end zone. 16-yard touchdown run.
You know, Tess, there's times when you watch a player and it looks like he's going faster than everybody else on the field. In that particular time, DeAnthony Thomas, he just looked faster than everyone.
Oregon, as is often the case, will line up willing to go for the unconventional conversion. And now Rob Beard, who is 100 of 100 on PATs in his career, will line up. Love punt. Turned into a quick 6. Black Mamba makes it 7-zip.
Lexus, introducing a stunning work of technology, the entirely new Lexus ES. And ExxonMobil, taking on the world's toughest energy challenges.
That's the only way our crew can be as fast as DeAnthony Thomas. A little time lapse to document our travels for the 3rd time this year from Bristol, Connecticut, here to beautiful Eugene, Oregon. 2,500 miles, great hospitality out here, and a touchdown lead early for the Ducks. DeAnthony Thomas, the 16-yard run. Alejandro Maldonado, and the flag is down. Marvin Hall returns this, and Marvin Hall with a good return out to the 38-yard line.
It's going to be on the kicking team. They'll probably add it on at the end of the run.
Number 4 on the kicking team was not lined up within 5 yards of the kicking scrimmage. 5-yard penalties added on the end of the return. First down.
Puddle's off to a good start tonight. Chip Kelly, his 4th year as the Oregon head coach, looking for his 40th win tonight. He'll be on a faster pace than guys like Bobby Bowden and Bear Bryant if he does so. Bishop Sankey. Sankey About a 4-yard gain. Let's check in with Reese.
Hey, Joe Tess, man, a little upset brewing. North Carolina State and Florida State at 16-3 until Mike Glennon finds Shadrack Thornton, and Shadrack has the Noles in the fiery furnace at Carter Finley. 16-10 the score. It's on ESPN2.
How about that? The number 3 team in the country, Florida State. Remember, number 4 went down today. LSU losing to Florida. 2nd and 6 now. Williams makes one move and then spins his way close to that line to make. Out to the 47-yard line. Tyson Coleman with the tackle.
Now Shadrack down there finds Meshach and Abednego. They're in great shape at North Carolina State.
It's going to be just short. It'll be 3rd and inches here. Sankey the lone back.
Oh, that's an offsides. That's going to go back 5 yards.
Ball start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Yes, they were going to bring the corner blitz. Nick Mariota was going to dial it up off the edge.
James Towie is the only guy on the Washington roster from the state of Oregon. There's Nick Aliotti, veteran defensive coordinator in his 21st year. So now a 3rd and 6. They only bring 3 against Keith Price. And this is Williams. And Williams able to get his way. Ball came out there, and now they're marking him down as Ekpre Olumu came in, made the contact, and then scooped it. But they will mark Payson Williams down.
On the play. 1st down and 10.
So it'll be a 1st down for Washington.
Watch Ekpre Olumu come up. Yeah, he's down, and then the ball comes out. Ekpre Olumu is a player, Joe, that at the start of the season they said, you know, we've got to find another corner. We have Mitchell on one side, but the other guy's got to come up. And Ekpre Olumu, number 14, at the top of your screen, he has just played a fantastic season so far.
Oh, just off the numbers that time. Unable to connect with Williams.
And he's lining up on their best player, Casey Williams. Now he's going off, but he fell or something on that last one and allowed Casey Williams to be wide open.
Williams has to come up with this.
Oh,
right on that 2.
That's a perfect throw.
Remember, he had a key play against Stanford, that 4th quarter touchdown in that upset. Austin as loud as ever. 2nd and 10. Price off the mark that time. Took one look at Austin Safarian-Jenkins, but threw it to the outside of him.
And he had him. And this is Keith Price. A year ago, I watched him, and you could see that this is a kid who's got it. He's got what it takes to play the position. This year, this offensive line has been, like you mentioned, they've been all over the place. And he has at times had to run for his life, but he has still been a strength for this offense.
Statistically off to a slower start than a year ago. But the offensive line issues have been a big part of that. So he has shown composure and leadership, piece things together here. 3rd and 10. And the slant that time, but once again behind the target. That was DeAndre Campbell he was looking for.
Looked like Keelekipi got in there really fast. I don't know how he got in there, but he got in there quick. See, number 92 just went right past that right guard. That's Brostick, number 60. Brostick looked like he turned his head back inside, and Keelekipi just ran right past him.
Boone's on to punt. Anthony Thomas setting up shop at the 10. He's going to let this sail over his head, and it does go into the end zone. Of course, we already got a taste of what the Black Mamba can offer up. Speed, moves, scores. His 9th touchdown of the year came tonight. On ESPN and ESPNU this Sunday. One of those day afters when top 10 teams upset. BCS Countdown 8:30 on ESPN. Big hit that time delivered on Kenyon Barner by Sean Parker.
Remember, I told you he's a good tackler. He does a nice job, and he comes right down the middle. Look at that. Sticks his face. Oh, it's beautiful. Take a picture of that. Young guys out there watching, that's how you do it. Drive your feet right through them.
First down run by Barner. They keep it with him again, and he is body slammed by Travis Feeney.
They have been running the inside and that little zone play inside, that little inside zone, they've been running it almost exclusively here tonight.
Mariota pulls it out down the field, wide open. Colt Lyerla, and look at the big guy go.
Colt Lyerla,
48-yard reception by Lyerla.
Colt Lyerla is a guy that not a lot of people know about, but as you see him in the middle of the screen, he's an outlier. He's a freak of an athlete. Here's a touchdown.
Wide open in the end zone is Keenan Lowe. They raced up to the line of scrimmage, snapped it. Defense wasn't ready, and a quick strike again.
Watson, the corner, number 32. He just let him run right past him. It's Keenan Lowe, number 7. He was wide open. Don't beat yourself.
Don't blink when watching the Oregon offense. 21-yard reception for a touchdown to Lowe. Mariota in this Oregon offense, when they are on, watch out. He hit Lyerla, came down the field to the 21-yard line, quick snap, and found Keenan Lowe just moments ago to put the Ducks up 14-0 here in the first quarter.
That hurry-up pace, Tess, that's really what got him that score, because the Washington Husky defense never got the call echoed out to the outside, and watching the corner was just kind of waiting for a call when Lowe just ran right past him.
Marvin Hall from the 5. And Hall out to the 24-yard line. Washington in a 2-touchdown hole early, Reese.
And Joe, SportsCenter right now, presented by Discover Card, has a theme: Tigers win. In the American League Division Series, as the Tigers beat the A's 3-1, Alex Avila went yard. Detroit leads the series 1-0. Verlander 11 Ks over 7 innings. Tigers win, Tigers lose. Number 4 LSU didn't score a touchdown. Mike Gillisley scored 2 for Florida. 14-6 the final for the Mighty Gators.
Well, the defense looked great today, shutting down Mettenberg. And here's Bishop Sankey. Let's go back to the touchdown moments ago.
Yeah, what I want you to see is the disarray out here. See, they are just getting their call in, and it's not echoed out. As you look, the corner is looking inside for his call. It never got to him, and Keenan Lowe by that time was in the end zone.
Empty backfield now as Sankey splits out to the top of your screen. Keith Price. And Price connects that time to Cody Bruns. Bruns, who was a prep All-American at Prosser Washington's high school, where the starting quarterback was one Kellen Moore.
And it sets up this 3rd and short. Mitchell with a nice read at the corner spot and a short tackle. Again, tackling has been actually pretty good here in the secondary for these Oregon Ducks, and except for DeAnthony Thomas's magic, not bad for the Washington side.
Sankey and Taylor in the offset pistol. Price to throw on 3rd and short, and he does find Taylor. And Kendall Taylor will move the chains out past the 41-yard line, pushed out by Terrence Mitchell. Taylor, who was a starting receiver earlier this year, but has been getting time at running back.
That's right out of the West Coast pages of Bill Walsh.
Fittingly, he's the nephew of 49er great John Taylor, is Kendall.
What a great player John Taylor was, my old teammate. Philly juice.
So a first down now at the 41. Price. That is intercepted as Avery Patterson will bring it in.
Avery Patterson read that like the newspaper, Tess. He saw it the whole way. Keith Price eyeballed it. Patterson delivered it.
He had a pick 6 against Washington State. And add this to the total.
He ran a better route than the receiver.
Huh. So true. Number 2 is making a bit of a statement here tonight, aren't they? What was that of a sluggish first half last week against Washington State? Alabama's got a bye week. The supposed next best team is playing like the best. Oregon with their 4th pick 6 of the season, all in the last 3 games, up 21-0.
I want you to watch that, number 1, and I want you to watch this, number 2. Because what you're going to see is the quarterback eyeball it the whole way. And Avery Patterson read it clean the whole time. Steve Sarkisian, he's just going to comfort him a little bit. He needs his quarterback. He needs his quarterback now, and he's going to need him the rest of the season because this is almost getting away from him fast. You've got to regroup it.
Steve Price's 3rd interception thrown this year. Marvin Hall now. Marvin Hall trying to find his way out past the 25. He was tackled by Ben Butterfield. Washington offense last week against Stanford had a couple key 4th downs that they converted. Broke a big run by Bishop Sankey, broke a smoke route by Cason Williams, but there wasn't a lot of consistent and explosive offense.
No.
And now they trail the number 2 team, the most dangerous team in terms of putting points on the board in college football, by 3 touchdowns here in the first quarter.
After the play, personal foul on the kicking team, number 15, 15-yard penalty.
Oregon averaging 52.4 points a game. On a fast pace already tonight.
That was Colt Lyerla, number 15.
Bishop Sankey in that 2 tight formation with a good, strong run for a first down. Reese, Ducks are going fast.
All right, Joe. Ohio State's beating up on Nebraska. That's on ABC. But look at what's happening on ESPN2. That's a drop pass that Mike Glennon just threw as NC State is driving to take the lead on number 3 Florida State. You can see it on ESPN2 or watch ESPN as the drop pass kept the Wolfpack from getting really close.
Number 3 being threatened. Florida State in a tough one against NC State. Here's Sankey again, and he's finding a bit of running room off the left side. Tackled that time by Derek Malone.
Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator for this Oregon Duck team, is rolling the dice a little bit. He didn't really know what to expect out of Steve Sarkisian, who he's had great respect for. He said it's going to take a couple of series for him to get a feel for what's going on. And his answer to it has been rolling the dice. He's been bringing more blitzes than I expected.
Sankey on 2nd and 5 now, patiently waiting for that block. and he used it well as he found Shane Brostick, the right guard, out in front of him.
You know, Tex,
led the way there, and they picked up the first down.
You know, a lot of people don't know about Bishop Sankey. Bishop Sankey is an excellent football player, and the best football is ahead of him. But he's got some great quick twitch and big playability.
Destin Petty now comes in at running back. And Price to throw here on first down, and spinning free that time was Campbell, tackled by Kiko Alonso. As the clock is counting down here to an end of the first quarter that was dominated by Oregon. Steve Sarkisian has to think up a way to solve this problem. Chip Kelly, business as usual, 21-0, end of one.
Saturday night.
Number 2 Oregon up 21-0 on the 23rd ranked Washington Huskies as we continue on Dr. Pepper's road to the championships. Start of the second quarter. In that first quarter, Oregon scored 21 points in a span of just 5 minutes and 21 seconds on the clock. Keith Price now quickly gets it out to Kason Williams, who picks up the first down. And as they have done all year long, Matt, as you see DeAnthony Thomas, who contributed to the scoring in that first quarter, 112-19. First quarter dominance, outscoring opponents on the season 112-19.
Yeah, and the numbers look big, but the reality is they really haven't gotten out to great first half starts. In fact, head coach
great for everybody else.
Yeah. Chip Kelly hasn't really been pleased with his first halves. They've really done well in the second halves after they've been able to adjust.
3 receivers stacked to the near side here on first down for Keith Price. And he throws there to set up the screen to Mickens, and Mickens makes a cut and is down inside the 2-yard line, brought down by Derek Malone.
See, when you go with that 3 receiver set outside and you're defending it, you have to go inside, outside, high. And if you jump around a block, which is what the Oregon Ducks did, it creates a void, and Mickens was able to take advantage of it.
The first and goal at the 1-yard line. Good blocks that time by Cody Bruns and DeAndre Campbell, the wide receivers who were out in front of J-Don Mickens. Sankey. Touchdown, Washington. So a good way to respond to open up this second quarter for Steve Sarkisian and the Huskies. He said earlier, we have to get 7s in the red zone. And 21-0 hold demanded it, and they delivered. Travis Coons adds the extra point. So Washington gets on the board. Talladega. Coverage begins Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Bama has a bye week, but a big event still down there in the heart of Dixie. Talladega should be a good one tomorrow. Washington breaks through and gets that Sankey touchdown run, 7-play drive that they desperately needed, and now they have to find a way to contain that young man. A little 170-pounder, the Black Mamba, DeAnthony Thomas. This will be Lowe. Keenan Lowe scored a touchdown earlier tonight. And throw out to the 24-yard line. Glad to have Lewis Johnson with us tonight. Lewis?
Oh, Joe, thanks very much. Down here behind the Washington bench, and that touchdown is exactly what this team needed. I've been watching them throughout the first quarter, weathering that 21-point deficit storm. Players were coming off the field looking a bit disappointed, frustrated, but I didn't see any panic. Coaches have been working the grease board, explaining the X's and O's, and really trying to make sure they keep the morale strong. So far, looking good. They said they weathered the storm, wanted to play ball the second quarter. That's exactly what they did, grabbing that touchdown.
And Lewis, now time to play a little bit of defense. And as quickly, this is Daryl Hawkins, and they get on top of it right away. Good pursuit, including Desmond Trufant and Shaq Thompson coming up to find Hawkins.
Yeah, Trufant read it right away, and Huff, the receiver, wasn't able to get the block on him. And that's one thing that this Oregon team's done very well, has been able for their receivers to block.
Anthony Thomas in the backfield now. Play action. Mariota pumps. And now he's going to run it himself. Remember, Mariota has that good speed as he gets out to the 31-yard line. It'll be third and a long 3.
Look at Justin Wilcox, the defensive coordinator for this Washington team, whose father was Dave Wilcox. Dave Wilcox was the linebacker for the 49ers and is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Thomas. How about the little guy? First down for the Ducks.
The Anthony Thomas, and you mentioned he's a $170, soaking wet with a rock in his hand, Joe. And they kicked it to Keenan Lowe on that last one, and he went and took on a 240-pound linebacker and blocked him square up to give Lowe a chance to be able to return that thing.
Thomas again trying to find room, cuts to the outside, looking to pick up a block. With too many defenders going lateral with that play as he is taken down for no gain that time. It was Trey Watson and Shaq Thomas getting on top of DeAnthony Thomas.
Shaq Thompson's a guy, number 7, just a freshman, very athletic, just learning his position. But when he's down around the ball, he has a great nose for it.
Kenyon Barner now as Barner lowers his shoulders and is close to that line to make. They're marking him just short as they quickly hurry up to the line of scrimmage and snap it there. And Barner easily gets it and more. In fact, one of the officials getting in the way. Nobody has time to get their whereabouts against this Oregon offense.
Yeah, tackled by the umpire right there. He put his keister into that bad boy. Tries to get out of the way, and all he can do is just take on a hit.
When they make a decision to run up there and snap it, it is happening before you even know what's going on.
Now, keep in mind, the umpire's the guy who has to stand over the ball, and then for the ready, he backs out of it. They were so fast, as he was backing out, they were running towards him.
Barner remains in here as the running back with Mariota. Mariota to pass on first down, and now he's going to tuck it and run it. And he has good space out in front for a first down and more as Mariota gets to the 26-yard line. A 20-yard run by the freshman quarterback.
And this is the difference in this offense, in my opinion. Marcus Mariota can throw the ball effectively, but when he pulls it down, he's a legitimate runner. He's a big kid, 6'4", he has great speed. Make things happen back there.
Watch big Colt Lyerla in the backfield here, number 15. As he's the lead blocker for Barner, who gets to that edge and then runs over a defender, Trey Watson, for another Ducks first down.
You mentioned Colt Lyerla. There's the other guy in that offense. He's 250 pounds. He's 6'4". He runs sub 4.5. He's legit.
And they snap quickly again to the 10-yard line.
This is Lyerla. Watch number 15. He's going to take on Josh Shirley, 22, the defensive end. That's poor by Shirley. You can't turn your head. They got to go face that thing up and stay square.
Brief moment of pause with this offense, and it gives Oregon a chance to substitute as well as the defense as Shaq Thompson runs out onto the field. Mariota looking over his options. Fakes out one man to the end zone, and that is caught for the touchdown by Colt Lyerla. That
touchdown brought to you by the feet of Marcus Mariota.
Just extending the play and giving himself every chance before finding the quickly emerging top target, Colt Lyerla.
See how he kept his eyes down the field, Tess? This kid's going to be really, really good.
Washington thought they got themselves back into it with their touchdown. Right down the field come the Ducks.
Going down to an unranked opponent.
Unbelievable day of action, Reese. Number 3 could be moments away. Of course, number 4 LSU went down. Number 5 Georgia went down. And here, number 2 Oregon rolling along against 23rd ranked Washington. Joe Tessitore, Matt Millen, and Lewis Johnson with you here at Autzen Stadium. Maldonado's kick. Driven by Mickens at the 2-yard line. And Mickens with a good seam out to the 29. So let's show you the AP top 10. And you see Florida State, just a few seconds left in that game as NC State came up with a clutch touchdown. They trailed 16-0 at the half. Be interesting to see what the voters do with West Virginia and Florida. You got to think South Carolina is going to rise right up there. Of course, BCS Countdown will be on the air tomorrow at 8:30 on ESPN. We'll go over all the new rankings. Keith Price now.
Wide open.
And instead, he goes back against the grain to the 40-yard line to Williams. As he picked him up a little late that time, but it does move the chains.
You know, Tess, Cason Williams is a 7-foot high jumper. He's a tremendous track athlete. He doesn't have great long speed, but he knows how to get open, and he's a guy with a big body. And so you start playing against smaller DBs, he knows how to use his body well, as does Safarian Jenkins, number 88 rather.
He won the high jump, triple jump, and long jump state titles when he was in high school. Bishop Sankey. And he is upended, but a good run of 8 yards that time. Cason Williams, prep All-American in both football and track. High jump, triple jump, long jump. Washington State titles. Skyline High School. The star there. Parade's National Player of the Year in 2010 and Gatorade's Player of the Year for both football and track in the state of Washington.
Well, he's got a one-on-one outside. If you have that, you try to take advantage of it.
2nd and 3. They swing it to Taylor, and Taylor picks up a block and a first down, as that was Cason Williams doing his job on the outside, creating some room for Kendall Taylor.
He got away with a little bit of a hold out there to Cason Williams, but a nicely conceived play and well executed by this Washington offense. And you know, Tess, you look at this, Steve Sarkisian, he just dials him right back up. He's not afraid. He keeps going out after him. He has great confidence in his quarterback.
They go trips to the near side again. And now they go empty as Sankey splits out wide to the top of your screen. That was a low snap, and Price is going to tuck it, run it, and the ball came loose at the end there and was recovered by Oregon's Brian Jackson. Price was trying to get the extra yardage, and Boseko Lacumbo came in and jarred it loose.
Yeah, it's Cole Lacumbo there, number 25, who comes up from the backside, and Jackson's able to pick it up. But again, that's the 3rd time they've beaten themselves.
And now the screen this time to Will Murphy. And Murphy is taken down hard out of bounds, but he does pick up the first down out to the 47-yard line.
Yeah, you got a Washington player down on that top sideline.
Trey Watson, who was involved with the contact on the end of that play with Will Murphy. Boy, it would have been a first down for Washington inside the 35-yard line at the end of that run by Keith Price. But the turnover costly. Ducks up by 21.
Media timeout.
Partner of the Heisman Trophy and Outback Steakhouse. It's always fresh in the Outback.
Not far away is Junction City. That is the hometown of former Oregon Duck defensive back Justin Wilcox. Take you back to the mid to late 90s there. Now the defensive coordinator for Washington. And this time it's Will Murphy as he gets the reception to the 45-yard line. And there is Justin Wilcox. Of course, his father, Dave, a Hall of Famer. Brother Josh played for the Rose Bowl team in '95 here at Oregon. He's faced off against the Ducks before. In fact, he was the D-coord at Boise. They defeated Chip Kelly in his debut as the head coach of the Ducks. And Kenyon Barner now, a quick burst up the middle to the 34, tackled by Travis Feeney. And here come the Ducks again.
Justin Wilcox is a good defensive coordinator, but you're only as good as the people you have to play in front of you. It's going to take some time to get all the pieces in place. And I don't think there's too many teams in this country who's going to stop this onslaught of this Oregon Ducks.
Mariota to Josh Huff. Huff inside the 10, stiff arm, and a touchdown.
That didn't take long, did it? And he stiff-armed the one you're talking about. That's on Desmond Trufant. And Trufant's a good player. And Huff shows you exactly what he's got.
Sarkisian's face told the whole story there, didn't it? How do you slow this team down? What is the answer?
They haven't seen it. I don't know if it's out there.
We just broadcast Alabama a week ago, and then you come and you get a glimpse of this. Fun to compare. Huff in with ease. Great effort by the receiver.
Welcome aboard.
Now you'll know when to stop. The all-new Nissan Altima with Easy Fill Tire Alert. It's our most innovative Altima ever. Nissan, innovation that excites.
What sounds good for lunch?
Beef and cheese.
Yeah, with bacon. Portobello mushrooms, all hot and melty. So Wendy's?
Wendy's, definitely. Let's go.
What's that?
Leave ordinary behind with Wendy's new Bacon Portobello Melt. Applewood smoked bacon, rich portobellas, and a melty cheddar sauce. Unleashing the power of the melt. That's Wendy's way.
Now that's better.
Have you ever had deja vu?
The headphone jack is going to be on the bottom.
Welcome back. Guess that Galaxy S3 didn't work out.
No, I love the GS3. Yeah, it's awesome. Just saving a spot in line for someone.
Hey, Mom, Dad.
Oh, thanks for holding our spot.
You guys have fun. Home by midnight, you too.
The next big thing is already here. The Samsung Galaxy S3.
Wait, honey, this is the line for apps. I stand...
Yeah.
The
team out there, including San Francisco's defense, and J.J. Watt is off to a monster year.
Now off to another great start are the Oregon Ducks. 19th straight game scoring over 30 points, and there's still 8:04 left in the half. Jadon Mickens on the return here for Washington. And Mickens, can he get to the edge there? No, he's torn down at the 24-yard line where a flag comes down at the end of that play.
During the return, personal foul, face mask on the return team. Pendleton forced half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's a rare one.
Penalty was on number 4.
On the return.
Remember how Washington shut down Stanford and then had those key plays offensively just over a week ago. What a different scene here now against second-ranked team in the country. Bishop Sankey muscles his way out to the 15-yard line. Glad you're with us here at Autzen Stadium. Joe Tessitore, Matt Millen, Lewis Johnson. 3 turnovers for Washington, quickly turned into 21 points for Oregon. Their offense in typical lightning strike form. Marcus Mariota with 3 touchdown passes tonight. On a day in which number 3, number 4, number 5 all went down. Number 2 making a statement here, and the defense getting after Keith Price. That was Michael Clay and Kiko Alonso bringing pressure against the junior quarterback.
Kiko Alonso, that middle backer, about 240 pounds. You can watch him. He's just delaying his blitz. And just really well done. Could have wrapped up, though, to finish that thing. I think that's the difference in this Duck team this year. This defense, this is a good defense. It's an underrated defensive line. And I think they got a pretty darn good secondary.
They shut out Arizona a few weeks back, an Arizona team that was in a video game type battle with Stanford today. Washington's going to take a timeout. We'll take a break with them. Oregon up 35-7. Fans have seen so much success in recent years. 3 straight Pac-12 titles for Oregon, 2 Rose Bowl appearances, that 1 BCS title appearance, and that thriller against Auburn.
I think you're right there.
Deion Jordan the end, and Price chucks it into the line.
Was no foul for intentional grounding. Number 23 was in the area of the pass. 4th down.
That was going to be a screen, and they just latched onto him. I don't know who it was in there, whether it was Big Taylor Hart or Deion Jordan or one of those guys. They saw him, and they just latched onto him. There's no place to go with the screen.
That's a nightmare for an opposing coach, seeing DeAnthony Thomas put his heels on the 50-yard line to return a punt. But it takes a bounce off to the side. You saw Thomas try to race up for it, Reese.
Yeah, he did, Joe. I think he was afraid it bounced off of Buddy there. SportsCenter right now brought to you by Discover. Florida beats LSU 14-6, so number 4 goes down. So too did number 5, Georgia, and number 3, Florida State, in stunning fashion lost to NC State 17-16. This was the last tee from E.J. Manuel. First time since October 11, 2008, we've had 3 top 5 teams lose on the same day.
A little shake-up Saturday here in college football. Mariota, no room getting to the edge, so he scoots out. The Ducks said earlier, don't blink when watching Oregon. Quick strikes this season. 23 drives now that they've scored in under 2 minutes. 13 times they've scored in less than 60 seconds. Tonight, you see 3 of them under 2 minutes. That hurry up that bothers Nick Saban so much, apparently, we found out this week, right? Anthony Thomas to the 39-yard line, tackled by Trey Watson.
Well, what he does, you know, there's three things that you can do with an offense. You can control your personnel, you can control your scheme. Chip Kelly has done both those things, but he also controls the tempo, and that is what he zeroes in on, and that's what changes the game.
3rd and 5, complete to Addison, and Addison has it to the 28-yard line. The true freshman, second leading receiver on the team coming into this game. He's off to a good start to his career.
So how does it change the game test? What it does, it affects your conditioning, and it also affects your decision making. Decision making under pressure. This really puts the magnifying glass on the pressure part of it, and it forces you to have to be right all the time at a high level, like Stephen Colbert.
And an old school Patriots logo, as there is so much New England infused into this Oregon program. Talking about a team that warms up doing a 3-man weave in tribute to the old Boston Celtics. Marcus Mariota now, look at him jump out of the way from Crichton.
That's smart.
And then he just slings it out. You see how athletic the 6'4" redshirt freshman is.
And more than that, you can watch this. Yeah, he's going to jump out of this thing. But I want you to, at the end of this thing, he has the presence to be able, instead of taking a loss, he just flicks it down and we'll pick it up from where we were. Right there.
That ended a streak of 8 straight completions. He was looking for Josh Huff that time. The 4th down. And Rob Beard on to attempt a field goal. He's off to a slow start earlier this year. He's made his last 3 on the year now. This a 41-yard attempt from Beard. Pushed it, and he pushed it off to the side. Game day, by the way, next week.
The kick was attempted from outside the 20-yard line. Ball returned to the previous spot. 1st down, Washington.
As the officials tell us where the mark will be. Game day next week, Matt, will be at Notre Dame.
The Golden Dome.
Stanford will be visiting Notre Dame. Stanford had a thrilling comeback today against Arizona. And of course, the Fighting Irish, unbeaten victory over Miami. Manti Te'o is playing great football. Bob Diaco's defense. We'll see what they do against Stanford, and Josh Nunez and that momentum they may be carrying in off that victory against Arizona. That's where game day will be in South Bend. Kendall Taylor with an 8-yard run here on 1st down.
There's a couple of players out there that Manti Te'o playing extremely well. How about Mike Motti up at Penn State? They've quietly put together a 4-game win streak, and they're doing pretty well.
Give credit to Bill O'Brien. Those circumstances, how he's been able to coach those young men up. Good win against Northwestern today. 2nd and 2 now. Low snap to Price, and then the defense able to get to Sankey. That was the freshman Eric Armstead, who's one of these guys who everybody was raving about when he came in, because he goes 6'8", 280. Scary to think that an 18-year-old can look like this.
That's really well done. Nice and aggressive at the line of scrimmage. He's got a lot to learn, but he has all the physical tools to be able to do it.
Actually more highly touted as an offensive line recruit, and he could be a superstar on defense in the coming years. 3rd and 1, Price. He lays it out there for Safarian Jenkins, and Austin Safarian Jenkins takes it down inside Oregon's 40-yard line.
That was a really well-conceived play. Look at they go to play action inside, and Safarian Jenkins, he's your tight end right down here. They're going to go with the same inside. Look at that. And then Jenkins just slips it and gets to the top side.
28-yard reception. Steve Sarkisian says he's one of the most talented athletes he's ever been around. And they could use more of him downfield like that. Bishop Sankey now on first down. He was met right away after a gain of 2 by Kiko Alonso.
I mentioned about this defensive front being underrated. They got a couple guys in here. Taylor Hart, 66. Remington, 65. Colt Lyerla, 25. Dion Jordan on the other side. That guy right there, that Taylor Hart, that's a good player.
Isaac
Physical
Remington
kid
there, who hasn't trimmed that beard since June.
Yeah, I told him last time I was here, hey, you need a haircut, get a shave. He saw me the other day, he said, grow a beard, let your hair get long.
Quite a character is Remington, the senior defensive tackler. 2nd and 8. They pick up the pressure, and Price gets it complete for a first down to Kason Williams. Mentioning Isaac Remington. And there is Crystal, his wife, and little Matthias. Look at Matthias.
All ducked out.
Yeah, he's got the duck hat on. He's got the ear plugs in. He likes grabbing at Daddy's beard, Isaac tells us. Play action now. Price with time, looking over his options. Now he's going to tuck and run and picks the right hole. And he's close to that line to make as Derek Malone finally pushed him out.
One thing about this Husky offense, man, there's no quitting them. They're just going to keep on clawing back. Yeah, they're down by 28.
Now, what did we say earlier about the leadership and composure of Keith Price, understanding that 4 would-be starting offensive linemen aren't around now this season. That's Mickens coming out of the backfield. Pressure right up the middle. Price escapes it, looking to extend the play, and then just throws it away. Smart. As he had Dion Jordan tracking him down.
Outside the pocket, pass across the line of scrimmage. There was no foul for intentional grounding. Down will be 2.
Now, Tess, this Oregon defense in the red zone this whole season, they have been phenomenal. You can see.
Remember the Arizona game? All those opportunities.
6
Arizona.
of them. 6. And they
6
got nothing.
times Arizona was in the red zone, and Nick Aliotti's bunch clamped down.
This is exactly where head coach Steve Sarkisian has said, we've got to be able to score when we're in the red zone. We have to be able to put 6 on it.
2nd and 10. Sankey, blockers in front, but he can only manage about 3 yards that time as Lacumbo filled that hole.
That's a heck of a play by Lacumbo because he had most of the fullback coming right at him. He ducked them inside and was able to secure the tackle on the outside. Sets up this 3rd down.
Under Sarkisian calls the plays for his team. Let's see what he comes up with here on 3rd and 7. Under a minute to go in the half, trailing by 4 touchdowns and piecing together a long drive. Sankey now joins Price in the backfield. Price to the near side. Ball came out there as he was tracked down by Dion Jordan.
Dion Jordan's a big man.
6'7".
Can run.
The ball was fumbled forward and out of bounds. It'll be returned to the spot of the fumble.
That's correct.
Down will be 4.
If a ball goes forward,
Game clock will start on the ready for play.
they bring it back to where it was fumbled at.
Timeout number 2. 30-second timeout.
Washington's going to take a quick break here, facing a 4th and 6. Let's check in with Reese.
All right, Joe, coming up at halftime, Mark and Lou getting set. The Seminoles, number 3 team in the country. They go down in stunning fashion after blowing a big first-half lead. LSU went down to the Swamp. Florida is officially back. And another wild offensive showcase between West Virginia and this time Texas. And once again, Gino and the Mountaineers prevail, but this time with some help from the running game and a little defense, Joe.
Smith had 4 touchdowns today. Geno Smith, Nick Aliotti calling out the defensive set here for a 4th and 8 for Washington. Line to make is the 9-yard line. Here's Price. And that is batted away that time by Kiko Alonso as he was looking for DeAndre Campbell.
That's the one time where Keith Price had to be perfect with that ball, and he threw it behind him. Not a good throw by Keith Price. He's been pretty good here tonight, but that one on that 4th down, that's when he needed it.
Yet another red zone stop for Nick Aliotti's defense. They've been doing it all year long, complementing that red-hot Speedy Ducks offense with a defense that just doesn't break in the red zone.
35 seconds, they can score here.
You know what?
They can.
It's just the way they're made up, isn't it? Mariota's going to take a shot right on cue. Oh, and he put it right on the right hand of DeAnthony Thomas. And a flag does come in as he was covered by Des Trufant.
I got to tell you, Des Trufant was right on him. As the Black Mamba can flat out fly.
6 versus 6 there.
Pass interference on the defense, number 6. Grab and restricted the receiver. 15 yards, first down.
Maybe that's why he was able to roll with them stride for stride. Yeah, and there it is. You see he's grabbing it. That's a good call.
How about the arm on Mariota, putting it out in front of DeAnthony Thomas?
How about the decision of this Duck team to just go ahead and try to score?
Kenyon Barner, and he just lost his footing that time out to the 38-yard line. His Timo got a little piece of him. Timeout called. We'll take a quick break.
Timeout, Oregon.
Matt Lewis with you back here at Autzen. Only a Chip Kelly team.
I love that
would
guy.
it be a credible statement, Matt, when they took over the ball with 35 seconds left to say, you know what, they could score here. Mariota cranks it up again. Oh, and right off the hands of Thomas.
That's where at the next level. Did you see
Puddles is just destroyed there.
Puddles is in a puddle right there. That's where at the next level, that's where this kid, DeAnthony Thomas, that's where he's going to be invaluable. There's not too many. This is awesome. Too bad he couldn't track it all the way down. That's a hard catch to make. Over the top like that, you track it all the way through. But that guy, he's got great speed, and he'll be able to be used as a receiver as well as running the ball.
Mariota, look at the time he has. Clock ticking down to 10 seconds on 3rd and 4, and he throws it away. So it'll bring up a 4th down with 9 seconds left. But boy, can they make the last 35 seconds of a half exciting.
Oh, it's 9 seconds. They're not done yet. I love Chip Kelly. I love the way he takes everything that's generally accepted as a way of doing it and just says, why can't we do it? Why can't we go for it on 4th down and do this? Well, why can't we run this hurry up off? Why can't we? He just shatters everything. I love the way he approaches this stuff.
His big concern, he said to me before kickoff when I went down and visited him, was his mom, Jean, and his dad, Paul, staying up late back at their home in Maine to watch the Ducks tonight. I think they can feel pretty good about getting a night's sleep. We will see what Washington can offer up here, but Oregon is revving that engine tonight. Steve Sarkisian, who saw the Huskies come down the field last go round with Keith Price, unable to convert that 4th down.
Now they'll get the ball back first here in the second half, and they've got to be able to get 6 out of that first drive.
Remember, Price had that interception thrown earlier, and Patterson took it back, so the defense even offered up something in this first half from Oregon as Bishop Sankey will get the last carry of a first half. That's Marcus Mariota with 3 touchdown passes. Let's go down to the field to Lewis.
Thanks a lot. Well, Chip, what's it like to stand on the sideline and watch your team perform like the way they did offensively and defensively in this first half?
you know, it's when you're in this league, it's never over till after the game. Washington's a really good football team. We're going to go in and regroup. There's some things we got to work on at halftime and come out because I know we're going to get the best shot.
What specifically do you need to correct for the second half?
A couple mistakes here and there, just some things up front that we got to make sure that we get handled, and then we stay away from some stupid penalties and things like that. But we know we're going to get Washington's best shots. We got to go to the locker room, make sure we get our kids in the right mind and come back out here in the second half.
All right, Chip. Thanks a lot. Okay, Joe.
Thanks, Lewis. 35-7. On a night when top teams were falling, Florida State, LSU, Georgia, Oregon rolling along. Let's join Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz back in the studio for the college football halftime report. Gentlemen.
And Joe.
We welcome you back to ESPN College Football Finale number 2, Oregon. It was all over Washington in that first half, 35-7. They've got the superstar players, and they played like it tonight. Washington set to receive. Start the second half. Evan Smith back, and Alejandro Maldonado to kick things off here. Paul here. And the ball came out there at the end of that return. It's going to stay with Washington.
Got hit right on the ball.
What hope is there for the Huskies on offense here in the second half, Matt?
Well, I think it's tough, obviously, but if they're going to do anything, they've got to do it right now. They've got to start in this first series and kind of set a tone for them, because this Oregon Duck team shows no signs of slowing down. This is going to be a tough one.
Washington had their moments, a few long sustained drives, but once they got into the red zone, things crumbled apart against the Ducks defense. Price, play action to open up the second half. And it was incomplete, looking for Campbell.
Well, you got some guys who are playmakers, and we've talked about it. This is DeAnthony Thomas. And what I want you to see here is just how sudden he is. He never slows down in any of his movement. And then Colt Lyerla, the tight end, just finding a hole and then taking the cue from his quarterback as he buys extra time, just set back and make the play.
That was one of 3 touchdown passes in the first half for Marcus Mariota. Delayed handoff to Sankey, and he couldn't find any running room at all. Let's check in with Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
Well, Joe, I caught Sarkisian coming out of the locker room, and he said he just wants his team to settle down and just compete. The 3 errors that led to the 3 turnovers and 21 points for Oregon, he said, well, you just can't do that. He wants his quarterback, Keith Price, to settle down here in this first possession here and make something happen. And as for slowing the Oregon offense, well, it's kind of obvious, right? Try to contain the quarterback, Marcus Mariota. Joe?
Been extending plays, has Mariota. Talked about making open field tackles being critical. And right now, it's critical that the Huskies offense can convert this 3rd and 11. Get something going here to start the second half. Price going to run for it. He'll be well short as he was tackled that time by Lacumbo.
Cole Lacumbo, number 25, as he comes out of his zone drop, is fine. But I'll tell you, this Oregon defense has gotten better. This is the 3rd time we've had the pleasure to watch them, and every time you see them getting better and better at a lot of different areas. But in particular, that defensive line has really gotten better.
And this punt bounces inside the 25-yard line. Muff punt in the first half. And then Keith Price, the pick 6 by Avery Patterson. And then Price, when he was running for good yardage, fumbled. And Oregon would convert those turnovers into 21 points. Josh Huff now on the receiver screen.
That's a heck of a play by Trufant. Trufant worked off the blocker and then got up and made the tackle. Right there. I mean, for a gain of about, what, maybe 4 yards or so. He's a good player. You saw him get stiff-armed for a touchdown, but his coverage skills are very good, and he's a tackler, and you love to see that. He tackles in space as well.
And Jan Barner, boy, by the time he was touched, it was already a run for a first down. Watson and Feeney finally got to him and moved the chains again.
He's already over 90 yards rushing, and he's a quiet 90 yards. Last week he had a quiet 195 yards.
Also had 4 touchdowns in that win against Washington State. Top 10 nationally in rushing averages, Barner. Mariota over the middle, and he has it complete for another first down. This is to Daryl Hawkins.
Hawkins
flag is down.
Yeah, Hawkins was covered, Tess. That ball was in a small window, exactly where it had to be. Mariota's impressive tonight. Look at that tight window. He's got to be accurate. And that's actually just a tad behind him. And Sean Parker comes up and makes that tackle.
Personal foul. Illegal contact to the helmet on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Tack on another 15 yards. See Justin Glenn. Huskies defense.
Yeah, that's Sean Parker, and that's
there is
Justin Glenn coming in. So
see that helmet riding up there.
Is that what they called that thing at the end?
Mm-hmm. Helmet to helmet. You know the emphasis on player safety in the game right now. Mariota stiff arms one would-be tackler and then takes a hit into the bench.
That was dumb.
That was Travis Feeney who came in and just wiped out Mariota right into the bench.
Yeah, that's not smart.
After the play, personal foul on the defense, number 41. Secondary push out of bounds, 15 yards, first down.
And now Brian Bennett comes in to play quarterback with a unique package that they've been showcasing in recent weeks, where Bennett and Colt Lyerla make up the backfield. Lyerla, the tight end, who's just a beast of an athlete, runs downhill. Watch out for him. Bennett on a keeper, and Bennett will pick up about 3.5 yards. Remember, Bennett was the guy who many thought would win the starting job. He got a lot of playing time a year ago, played a huge role when Darren Thomas went down with an injury. But Mariota was shining bright in camp and won the starting job. And Colt Lyerla straight ahead. Be a couple yards short of that line to make.
So, Tess, now you watch this offense, you think, how the heck are they gaining these chunks of yardage? Even something that looks like it gets nothing, it picks up 3 and 4 yards. And you have to ask yourself, how would they do against an SEC-type defense?
Saw the play signal. The card showed Gaddy Ward in that upper corner. Let's see if they go for the knockout here. Daryl Hawkins tied up that time. And it's Justin Glenn making the defensive play.
I think the answer to that question is I think they would do just fine. I think they would move the ball against, you know, you see those SEC teams. We had Alabama just a week ago. And Alabama is a very, very disciplined, physical group up front. But I believe this offense would move the ball well against that defense.
4th and inches. They don't even hesitate. Kenyon Barner still driving his legs. Ball came loose at the end there, but they're saying that he was down. John Timo scooped it up. Travis Feeney was the player who disrupted the end of that play by Barner.
Forward progress was ruled prior to the ball coming loose. First down and goal.
So they say that the forward progress stopped. It's a 1st and goal for the Ducks.
Timeout by Washington.
Timeout, Washington.
Sarkisian and the Huskies going to take a quick break. 1st and goal, Ducks.
Ready?
Shake up Saturday, but things going according to the script here at Oregon. And Jan Barner, he was met by Feeney at the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from there.
And the other night, I had the opportunity to talk to Coach John Madden, and we started talking about this Duck offense, and he said, you know, I'm fascinated by this offense, but I'm really fascinated by the pace and what they do. He said, how do they practice? And people need to watch them practice because they practice faster than this.
Bennett scoops that up, and he's going to take a loss to the 11-yard line. I find it so interesting that one of the all-time great coaching legends is so taken by what Chip Kelly is doing here.
Oh, he asked me, say, hey, did you figure that offense out yet? No. How the heck am I?
Nobody has.
No one hasn't. But the secret in the thing is buried in the pace, because he forces you to make decisions under pressure. That's the biggest thing. It's cardiovascular pressure. It's all kinds of pressure.
3rd and goal. Mariota to the end zone. Overthrew Braylon Addison. I saw Reese's face popping up in that play signal card. And it'll make for a 4th and goal as Chip Kelly send in Rob Beard.
Chip Kelly's a really interesting guy.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with his approach to this game and how he gets his team ready. And there's just so many different ways that he just kind of thinks just a little bit different than the norm.
Beard puts it through. 28-yard attempt. 38-7. They roll along.
May have retired from the game.
Out to lead the team onto the field pregame here at Autzen Stadium. Huddle's loving it. That could be you, Millen. I'm not sure. I didn't see you for a good 10 minutes pregame. Was that you out there on your own?
As a matter of fact, that was me.
What kind of bike do you ride?
I got a couple of Harleys. I got.
I think you need to go cross country for one of our Oregon trips.
I would like that. That would be a fun ride.
There's a personal foul in Oregon on the PAT, so kicking off from the 20 is Maldonado. Short kick fielded by Mickens, and Mickens with a good return and then lowers the shoulder. Of course, college football is available anytime, anywhere on your computer, your mobile device. WatchESPN.com. The Watch ESPN app comes in handy throughout the day on Saturday for many of us, catching up on everything going on throughout the sport. And what a day it has been in college football. NC State with the upset of Florida State. Florida shutting down that LSU offense. And South Carolina just routing Georgia. Bishop Sankey now trying to get free, and he does out to midfield as he was breaking away from Isaac Remington before being tackled by Wade Kala'ikikipi.
That's one of the guys, one of the big wins today for West Point.
Army taking down Boston College.
Yeah, big win for Rich Ellersby.
Rich Ellerson and Army getting a win today. Second and 6 now, and runs. Gets the first down. Washington gets it to the 42-yard line. Brian Jackson with the tackle.
I told you about that Brian Jackson. Watching him on tape, he understands angles very, very well. Does a good job of coming down and using his leverage and giving the runner only one way to go. He's a good tackler.
Dion Jordan is matched up on the near side, and now he comes off the edge. Big number 96 just lined up out there at the near side against Kason Williams.
Well, you know, he's a former receiver himself. He's a big man, and he can run.
There's the helmet rule affecting Taylor Hart, so he comes off. The emphasis on player safety. Must leave the field of play if your helmet comes off.
So Dion Jordan, the pass rusher, but he can be a linebacker. Heck, they use him outside, line him up off of receivers. He can get a jam on people.
Taylor now coming to the backfield, and he gets the call here on 2nd and 5, but he is ripped down by Derek Malone.
Derek Malone Jr. showed up in a pretty bad mood right there, didn't he? Nice from inside out, just ran right through him. Good tackling. We're seeing good tackling here tonight.
Alioti's very high on Malone.
Right there. Watch him track this. Inside out. Runs by the blocker. That's well done.
Getting a good amount of playing time. Michael Clay has been limited with a hamstring injury this week. 3rd and 4, and picking up that first down was Kendall Taylor. Steve Sarkisian was very honest in assessing things this week of what a challenge Oregon would be for them. You know, they had that upset of Stanford. Stanford was number 8 in the country. They took them down. Stanford came back today with a thrilling late rally and a shootout against Arizona. An Arizona team that Oregon beat 49-0. Bishop Sankey patiently waits and then uses the opening to get inside the 25-yard line before he was wrestled by Tyson Coleman. Of course, Steve Sarkisian, all the success he had at USC, was the quarterback coach for Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, and now his 4th season at Washington. Remember what a mess Washington was when he came in there.
He is really good, Tess. Steve Sarkisian is one of the really good football minds in college football. And I know Al Davis offered him the Oakland Raider coaching job, and he turned it down. And then that's when Lane Kiffin got it. And the one thing that Al told me was that he thought that Sarkisian had a great offensive mind.
That was Isaac Remington getting into the backfield against Sankey. He is a great play caller. Now, this is an uphill battle that he's facing here tonight, but Sarkisian, of course, was a tremendous quarterback at BYU.
He's got this team on the right tracks. He needs a couple more pieces to his puzzle, but he's got enough people in the skill spots to be able to make the thing work. He needs some of those big people up front to come through.
Well, that's the big issue with this team this year. 4 players that were projected starters on the offensive line aren't out there. 3rd and 6, Price, and he gets it complete for a first down to DeAndre Campbell.
You know, he doesn't have great team speed, but what he does with shifts and motions is creates a little uncertainty for you defensively, and it kind of backs you off, and then he takes advantage of that. He's good for bringing guys in shifts and bringing them back underneath. He's just an excellent play caller.
He's also been dealing with depth issues at running back. Jesse Collier was supposed to be the starter this year. Deontay Cooper could have contributed, both out with injuries. So Sankey and then a couple freshmen like Taylor, and now Eric Wilson in the backfield, as well as they will swing it here to Bruns, and Cody Bruns gets himself just inside the 15-yard line.
And here we are in the red zone again. And remember what Sark told Lewis at the beginning of the game, that they had to be able to score when they got in the red zone. They needed 6 points and not 3. The first time they were here, they came away with nothing.
Those turnovers been costly for Washington as well tonight. Sark looks down at that play sheet as he sent in the 2nd and 5 with Sankey flanking Keith Price. Now here's Taylor coming in motion. And Taylor will get the call. Sankey sets a block. Taylor goes to the outside of it. He's going to be about a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1. Tackled by Avery Patterson and Ifo Ekre-Olumu.
Ekre-Olumu, last time we saw him, he was turning in a monster game against Arizona. And he's kind of springboarded that. He's been playing really well and consistently as we look at this 3rd and short right here.
They're going to pass on 3rd and 1, and they get it complete to Evan Hudson. So it'll be 1st and goal for Washington.
Just nice plays like that Sark will use. He trusts his quarterback to be accurate, and then he'll just send somebody out in the flat like you saw, coming off that motion or coming out of the backfield. He'll kind of screen a little bit in the front, sometimes a pick or two. And then he'll get him out in the flat, and pretty soon you got your 1st down.
Jason Williams split to the top of your screen now here on 1st and goal. Bishop Sankey, penetration into the backfield. He spins free and still drives the legs in for the score. Great effort by Bishop Sankey.
That was a great run. That's a great run and great balance. Would not go down. Ran through arm tackles. Look at this. That's fantastic. Was that Bo Lacumbo? He made a miss. Derek Malone Jr. he made miss.
It was a good, hard-earned drive by the Huskies. 12 plays and then that spin and tremendous drive by Bishop Sankey. Dr. Pepper's road to the championships here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. Another sellout here at Autzen, 87 straight. 4th in the country in consecutive sellouts. Nebraska #1. Joe Tessitore, Matt Millen, Lewis Johnson on another beautiful night here at Oregon, with similar results that we've been seeing all year long. Anthony Thomas back deep to receive. Black Mamba driven a few yards deep into the end zone. Because of that, only gets to the 17. NFL Sunday, let's tell you what you're in store for. First, Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. on ESPN. Boomer and the gang with all the latest news and updates right up until kickoff. Then at 11 on ESPN2, Fantasy Football Now. We'll get you all the information so you can set your lineup and give you the edge. Kenyon Barner. 10-yard run by Barner. You hear the crowd there in the background with the big "oh," because there are so many moments with Barner where you think he could be taking it all the way. They're actually going to mark him just short.
Kenyon Barner is lost in the shuffle of all the people in this offense. He's
Amazing
over
to say that.
A quiet night tonight for him. He's over 100 yards.
Mariota easily gets to the edge, outrunning defenders. I mean, statistically, Kenyon Barner is right there with some of the best in the nation, but Mariota, Thomas, and Lyerla. Mr. Barner's a great guy.
Enjoyed it.
He likes sitting on the same sofa at the same hotel every weekend, watching games before these nighttime kickoffs here. Will Murphy.
What was that?
And another 15-yarder is going to be coming. And as we saw this time Marcus Peters. This happened earlier with Mariota. Washington helping Oregon's cause.
After the play, personal foul. Defense, number 21. Secondary act after out of bounds, throwing the runner down. 15 yards, first down.
Will Murphy was thrown to his own sideline there. Garner drives ahead to the 43-yard line this time.
It picks up 4.5 to 5 yards, and it looks like nothing. It's just that fast. It's, you know, you got second and manageable.
110 yards on the night. If he scores a touchdown tonight, he's going to move past Ahmad Rashad on Oregon's all-time scoring
Bobby
list.
Moore.
Oh,
yeah.
It was Bobby Moore when he was here.
Yep.
Fourth all-time for the Ducks. And another first down, another changeover. Let's check in with Lewis.
Oh, remember our conversation with Steve Sarkisian talking about the third quarter of the games, drives 8, 9, and 10, somewhere in there where Oregon really starts to do it to people. And I've been watching this Washington bench area. These guys have been hydrating like mad. They're using the bicycles, people stretching. They're trying to stay loose. Think back to our conversations with Sark about how they practiced so fast, took those halftime breaks and came back out to do it again, hoping now it'll pay off. But everyone down here in the Washington bench area trying to stay loose as they try and keep up with this Oregon offense.
After the play, personal foul, offense number 63, late shove, 15-yard penalty, first down and 10.
It's a good point by Lewis. He brings up the fact that Sarkisian, really when scouting Oregon, he said, listen, the fast pace starts to get to you in the second half. So they did put the half times into practice this week. He wanted his guys to simulate the game. He wanted them to try to be fresh come the second half. Oregon wears you down so much.
Because the thing about this pace is you can't practice it. If you start practicing it the week of the game in preparation for the game when you're playing it, you're way behind. If you're going to do this thing, look, this pace, it has to be an all-the-time thing. If you're going to get good at it, playing against it, you're going to have to practice against it all the time. They even wear their own defense down.
Anthony Thomas quickly straight up the middle for an Oregon first down to the 27-yard line. You give him a hole, the next thing you know, he's 20 yards downfield.
He's so
fast
sudden.
pace again, they hurry up. That's the word, sudden. It's exactly what he is. John Timo able to find him.
You know, he's not a guy who's the quick cutter, but he's in and out of his breaks so fast that it's almost imperceptible.
Snapping with 30 on the play clock. As Thomas able to get it down to the 19-yard line.
The other thing that's impressive about the Anthony Thomas is he's not afraid to run inside the tackles.
Coming to the end of this third quarter. That last play when they ran up there, it only took them 9 seconds from the end of one play to the snap of the next. And they're going to start the fourth quarter with a first down at the 13-yard line. You asked the question earlier, can you figure out the Oregon offense? I think we've been getting the answer, and so has Washington. Look at the confusion on defense. Autzen Stadium as loud as ever. 38-14 as the #2 team in the nation starts the fourth quarter in their rivalry matchup with Washington. They've won the last 8 meetings between these two by at least 17 points. And you can add more to that. Colt Lyerla again.
Nice throw, great protection, and Lyerla just goes up. He puts it in a spot where only Lyerla is going to get it. And he just uses his freakish athleticism to go up and get this ball. Oh, catches it with his fingertips. Nice play.
So you're telling me Marcus Mariota has this BCS title-seeking season still ahead of him and then 3 more years of eligibility?
You got it. He's just hasn't even scratched the surface yet. This kid's going to be unbelievable.
4th touchdown pass of the night for the cool Hawaiian. Sunday at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Although not everybody down in Alabama apparently likes that hurry-up, fast-paced style of NASCAR and the Oregon Ducks. Nick Saban coming out with some comments earlier this week that got everybody's attention. Here's Jadon Mickens. And Mickens with a return out to the 26. Here's what Saban had to say about the proliferation of the hurry-up offenses.
I think that, you know, the way people are going no huddle right now, that at some point in time we should look at how fast we allow the game to go in terms of player safety. More and more people are going to do it. And, you know, I just think there's got to be some sense of fairness in terms of asking, is this what we want football to be?
54,000 here at Autzen Stadium would say, yes, it's exactly what we want football to be. A little end around here on the pitch, goes nowhere, a loss of 3.5 yards. Chip Kelly has all the respect in the world for Nick Saban. Thinks the world of him as a football coach, but got a little chuckle out of Coach Saban's comments bashing the hurry up, no huddle. You saw the stats play out as you juxtapose what Alabama's doing and plays per game compared to what Chip Kelly and the Ducks do and the pace they like to keep.
You better get used to it because it's here to stay, and it's going to be here in all levels. More teams are doing it collegiately, and it's creeping its way up to the NFL.
2nd and 14. Bishop Sankey, good blocking out in front, as Sankey gets about 12 yards that time. But DeAndre Campbell, the receiver, paved the way for Bishop Sankey.
I like this Sankey kid. I think he's a good player.
I like when you were talking to Chip Kelly yesterday about what Saban had to say about the hurry up, and he said, you know, I'm sure the state of Alabama would vote to outlaw the hurry up offense, but I don't think he has the power over the rest of the 49 states. You two were going, we were going back and forth, having some fun with it.
And he was obviously joking. He has great respect for Coach Saban and that team. But the fact of the matter is, this hurry up stuff, it's here to stay.
And Sankey's going to be short that time, only picking up a yard, tackled by Hamuli. So that's a 4th down now for Washington.
That's Tyson Coleman. That's 3 plays in a row he's been in on. Number 33. And here comes a 4th down.
Over 85 plays per game. And keep in mind, you know, a lot of their pace is set in the first half of some of these games where they're blowing out opponents and come around the 4th quarter. If they were full throttle in a competitive game the whole way, you'd see that number even higher. 4th and 1.
It's going to be a
as
fake.
They go with the up back that time, and they will drive ahead. And the ball came loose at the end there. So they snapped it to the up back, and then the ball came loose at the end there, and it was recovered by Kiko Alonso. And it is a turnover, and the Ducks take over. I mean, just everything goes their way.
Now I would want to know, where was forward progress?
Watch Kiko Alonso, number 47.
The scrum on the inside. Oh, Kiko. Oh, he rips it out while he's still upright. That was well done by Alonso.
It was Pio Vutave who was carrying the ball on that special teams formation. And now they go with Byron Marshall, and look at Marshall. It'll be 1st and goal Oregon as the true freshman running back has them in prime position yet again, and Sarkisian can just shake his head. That's all you can do sometimes against this team. Mariota with Marshall flanking him, and this time he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage as Shaq Thompson came around, one freshman tackling the other. Byron Marshall, really good looking back, highly touted recruit. His older brother is Cameron Marshall, a fine starting running back at Arizona State. Colt Lyerla in the backfield now on 2nd and goal. Here's Marshall again. Well, hang a half a century up. They've gone over 50 points. 11:39 to go. And Oregon has 51 on the board as it stands for the moment.
The power, bring the guard around. They don't run a lot of plays, but what they run, they're really good at it.
They do dominate. Yet another touchdown drive that comes in under a minute. Fumble recovery. Can anybody keep up with the Ducks? Even the chain gang struggles to keep up. They sprint down the field to try to get in position, only to see another touchdown, this time from the freshman Marshall. It's a tradition on Friday night before home games. That's not the band. Those are just fans, students who grab instruments, gather downtown and at the sororities and frat houses and just hype it up as the football weekend here in Eugene is as good as any place in the country. Big time atmosphere. And pack them in one of the loudest venues in all of college sports. 52-14. Don Mickens on the return for Washington. Flag is down at the 30-yard line as Mickens takes us out to the 41.
Illegal block in the back on the return team, number 21. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Reminder that BCS Countdown on ESPN and ESPNU starts back up this Sunday. Guys will get you set with the rankings as all the dust settles from Shake Up Saturday. BCS Countdown Sunday at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN. Then at 9, presented by Discover Card on ESPNU. Those BCS rankings will come out next Sunday. Of course, there's going to be a major shakeup in the AP poll tomorrow. Florida State, LSU, Georgia all went down. You got to think South Carolina's going to take that slot behind Oregon, right, Matt?
Absolutely. They've got an outstanding runner in Marcus Lattimore. Connor Shaw's been playing his rear end off. That defense has really come alive. I think that one jumps up high.
Curious to see what the voters will do with Florida. Does Florida leapfrog those in front? I mean, K-State, West Virginia, and Notre Dame have been very impressive. The Notre Dame defense, the West Virginia and K-State offense, but Florida knocking off number 4 in a game that was full of defense, limited offense down there at the Swamp.
And Florida,
good group right behind Alabama and Oregon.
With improving young players on that offense, that defense is playing really well.
Sensational. They just shut down LSU today. Here's Kendall Taylor. And Taylor with a run out to the 33 for a first down. Oregon with 52 points here in the fourth quarter. 52-14 lead. They average 52.4 points per game.
So you're telling me they're playing below average?
They're playing below average tonight. That .4. Chip Kelly, what he has been able to do here with this program. Marcus Mariota, first-year quarterback, redshirt freshman, 4 touchdown passes tonight. Bishop Sankey. Mariota comes from Honolulu. And we're talking to Chip about his disposition, his personality, a quiet kid. Obviously comes from that culture where you respect your elders. Yes. And here he is as a redshirt freshman leading the team of the number 2 team in the country with a lot of senior leadership on it.
He's very differential towards the older guys in the team. And And so as a quarterback, you don't have to be a holler guy in terms of a leader, but this team already respects this kid for how he conducts his business and how he conducts himself on the field. And for Marcus to take another step, when he steps into that huddle, he has to assume that he has to be the guy to direct things in his own way. And like I said, he's deferential to older guys, maybe because of the culture that he was brought up in. But at one point, you've got to just take this thing over and you're demanding in your own way, because you have to demand perfection from your teammates as well as yourself.
3rd and 7 here for Price and the Huskies. And Williams is unable to fight for that yardage. Lewis.
Joe, you know, we talked to Chip Kelly and I asked him why Marcus Mariota was so poised as a young person and as a player. And he said, you know, he's got that special demeanor. He just came that way. They're thankful it's not something that they had to coach up. But I've been watching him throughout this game, and you remember that interception in the first possession. And to the touchdowns that he's thrown, he's had the same demeanor throughout the game. He's been rather calm, reserved. I've seen him go up and down the line and talk to some of his players that have played well and have had problems. So you begin to see the leadership coming, but he's still a pretty calm guy.
Coons punting it away. He is Lewis. And that is muffed again. And this time Washington is on the receiving end of it.
Well, they'll get to test their red zone defense again.
It's Kevin Smith, the receiver, playing special teams. Chad Delaney, return man for Oregon. He couldn't secure that punt he was trying to field. There's 4 turnovers for Washington, 3 of them coming very early. The Ducks have scored 28 points off of them. There's Mickens coming in motion here. There's Price directing traffic.
That's really good. That's really well done in the open
Kendall
field.
Taylor. That was Isaac Dixon finding Taylor.
That's a good job by Dixon. Did you see Tess? This is one-on-one. This is really hard to do. See how he took away something first and gave the runner one way to go and then defended that. That was outstanding.
Redshirt freshman safety getting playing time here. Wide margin in the 4th quarter. It's been the case so many times this season for Oregon. Saw that on game day this morning of proper tackling in the open field, as Trevor Maddich provided us with some good tape of what's been missing in college football in recent weeks. Price to the end zone, and making an effort that time was Cason Williams, but he's out of bounds and it's incomplete. And a flag comes in.
On the defense, number 33, illegal contact to the quarterback's legs late. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And they flagged Tyson Coleman for roughing the passer at the end of it. Look at that effort that time by Williams to lay out, and you see the ball falling loose to the turf. Steve Sarkisian. Such a tough night to get into a big hole. Had a nice visit with him before. I said, hey, what's up? You think the pressure of playing at Oregon gets to you? He said, hey, my son Brady lost his first tooth last night.
That
good
sounds
family
like
man is Sark. First and goal after the roughing the passer. And a little miscommunication that time as Michael Hart-Vixen cut to the outside.
Yeah, they brought Nick Alioto dialed up a blitz down there. Brought a little pressure. He's got a lot of the seconds and thirds in there right now. Nick Alioti's he's a real character. You can take him right out of central casting if you wanted a guy to say this is what a defensive coordinator should sound like
all
and
energy.
talk like. Oh yeah, I love him.
All intensity, non-stop. Great visit time and time again with Nick Aliotti. Second and goal now. And that is intercepted by Isaac Dixon. That red zone defense of Oregon time and time again this year. Even some of the backups get into the act. Bend but don't break. They can't get the turnover to become points. Right off the chest of Campbell and into the hands of Dixon. And Nick loves it. So what do you do when you're up big and it's the fourth quarter and you're the starting quarterback hanging out on the sidelines? Well, you grab those sign placards for the plays and you try to get some personal selections. Brian Bennett, quarterback, is Byron Marshall gets the call. And we see what Mariota picked out. A little Neil Everett and an elk. Marshall getting some quality time here and runs for the first down. Of course, Sports Center will be coming your way once Matt and I wrap things up. Yeah, that SEC shuffle. LSU went down, Georgia went down, South Carolina and Florida will be climbing.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Washington's defense has been collecting 15-yarders tonight. This one against Trufant. This was one of those weekends that starts to really shape the season of college football and put us in position for what should be an outstanding stretch run of the season, with everybody trying to get themselves into the mix to claim a title. Obviously, the SEC takes care of itself. Alabama and LSU will play. LSU already has the loss. South Carolina and Florida going to clean things up in the East. That Florida defense, the way they played today, who knows what they could be capable of. And South Carolina exploded at home against Georgia.
The old ball coach got himself another good football team.
You and I had the pleasure of being down there in Tuscaloosa last week as Marshall continues to impress here in the fourth. We saw Alabama last week, #1 team in the country. Now we come out here to Oregon and see #2. Pac-12 action will get next week started on Thursday night with Arizona State and Colorado, and another first down for Oregon. You know, we've had Oregon now 3 times this year. We've seen plenty of the SEC. We keep going back and forth, 2 of us, between Pac-12 and SEC. The comparison's going to be made, and they're so drastically different the way they go about it. Alabama and Oregon. And it's going to be a long season. There's still a lot to be uncovered, but you can start to frame it a bit of saying, they're clearly the 2 best teams. And how do they look to you? What does the eye test tell you?
The eye test tells me this as a flag comes in.
Danny Bassett with the carry.
As we sit and watch.
Offense number 78, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
As I sit and watch tape after tape, there are two things that become very, very clear. First of all, both these teams are very, very well coached. That's the first thing. And the second thing is the fundamentals come out all the time.
Agreed.
They all come out, you know, their offensive line comes off flat backed and low. The defensive players are all down, have good inside hand position. They all bend well at the hips. They all clear. The defense for Alabama is extremely disciplined. And I got to tell you, Chip Kelly's team is a very disciplined team, though wide open. There are more similarities than there are differences.
I suppose the question everybody will be wondering is, can Bama's defense handle that guy's offense? How would the Bama defense match up against what Chip Kelly and this hurry-up, explosive Ducks offense does?
I think they would match up pretty well, but I do believe that Oregon would get plays on that Alabama defense. I think this is a very fast team, and it forces you to have to defend the whole field. and then be athletic in space.
Kenny Bassett getting some work here, a sophomore who comes from Beverly Hills High School, a walk-on player for the Ducks, as some of the stars look on. DeAnthony Thomas, who of course also comes from the LA area, came up in Snoop Dogg's Youth Football League in Southern California, although he's no longer
Snoop Lion.
It's Snoop. You are so hip, Millen.
I'm hip.
I mean, Millen, you are with it.
I'm hip. I'm with it.
You understand that it's Snoop Lion now.
I don't even know what that means.
It's Snoop Lion now. He went down to Jamaica. He had a spiritual renaissance of sorts with the Rastas. And now he's no longer Snoop Dogg, but yet Snoop Lion. That's an upgrade, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Lion's
but
king
he
of the
loves
beast.
taking credit for being one of the guys early in the life of DeAnthony Thomas, spotting him down there in Southern California in his youth football days, and taking such pride in watching him turn into one of the best players in all of college football. That would be, of course, the entertainer Snoop Lion.
That would be, of course, called the shank right there.
When we make that 2-hour drive up to the Portland airport at 4 a.m., we're going to be blasting Snoop Lion the whole way. Just for you, Millen.
Can't wait.
Marcus Mariota looks on. There is the Lion. Back in the day, watching the Black Mamba do his thing down in L.A. The party continues all season long here at Autzen. 52-14. Chip Kelly on his way to a milestone of sorts. 40th win of his career in only 46 career games. You think about that pace. This is Destin Petty with a good effort up the middle for Washington. Chip Kelly faster to 40 than Bobby Bowden, Pop Warner, Bear Bryant, some of the all-time greats. Now in the modern era, Chris Peterson up at Boise, he won his 40th in 44 games.
Wow.
Destin Petty again. Chip's got it all up here. Loves his team, loves the program.
Glad you said that. You want to know something? You know what separates Chip? First of all, Chip Kelly loves the game. He loves football.
Deeply passionate.
You start talking to him about X's and O's, and he will X and O with you all day long. He loves it. It comes out of him. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Joe, he loves his players. He loves to see his players have success. He loves to see them get better. He has fun at practice. He jokes around with them. He messes around with them, and he coaches them hard. That's fun for me to watch.
This is Wilson here on the carry. And he's a worldly guy, well-rounded. You could talk to Chip Kelly about anything from World War II movies, bring up anything New England, he loves it, or talk to him about Johnny Ocean's chicken wings here in town.
Oh, he loves
eats
Johnny
lunch there
Ocean's.
just about every day of the week.
And he turned us on to, heck, we had...
Yeah, I'm going to dial some up in
pay no attention.
2 minutes and 27 seconds. I'm gonna be...
Pay no attention to the barbecue sauce on my face. That's from Johnny Ocean.
There's Eric Wilson, true freshman running back from East Palo Alto. That's the same high school. Eric Wilson went to the same high school as Lynn Swan and broke Lynn Swan's touchdown record there.
I tried to break Lynn Swan a couple of times when he came across the middle.
Not his record, just him.
Just him. Swanee.
And Wilson now gets the ball down to the 12-yard line.
I'll tell you one thing about Swanee. He didn't like to come inside when old Jack Tatum was in there.
No, not many did. Look at you.
What the heck?
What are you asking him? What are you telling him?
I was giving him a hug. I was sharing the love. Come on.
Sharing love? Look at the dirt and the
there's old Lyle Alzado right there.
Unbelievable.
Those were fun times. You know, and I had the opportunity, the great occasion, to play with some great players in great games over the course of a long time. And one of the guys who I had the most fun with was Howard Matthew Moses Long.
Well, and Howie Long's son plays for Oregon.
Yeah,
big number man. 74.
And he's been playing here inside. I've been watching him. He's been playing well. Big physical kid, 6'7", 320 pounds. Only his second real year of collegiate football playing. He was a pitcher for Florida State.
Could you imagine that on the mound?
And 200. Could you now? There's only one other pitcher in captivity that I can recall is that big, and that was Anthony Munoz when he pitched for USC. Another big man and athletic. Kyle's a big athletic man.
Listen, Petty gets it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be first and goal there in the final minute of this game as Washington's going to try to play tough and focused right to the very end here.
Timeout, Oregon.
Timeout, Oregon. Timeout number 1. 30 seconds. Timeout.
I'm going to ask you a very simple question here. Who's the best team in college football right now? Alabama or Oregon?
That's a great question. I think if they played right now, the way they're playing, I would have to give the edge to Oregon. And I would give them the edge probably because of their big play ability. And because DeAnthony Thomas, Colt Lyerla, Kenyon Barner, all those guys are outliers. They're guys who can play and make big plays happen. And you couple it with their quarterback.
Little EA Sports virtual reality here of what would potentially look like a matchup between this Oregon team and Nick Saban's #1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. And the bye week here. And Eric Wilson will bring it in, but I mean, obviously nobody has had a closer look than you. We had Oregon. This is our 3rd time with Oregon. We had Oregon, then you went down there. You spent 3 days in the coach's office with Alabama. You were watching film.
It's a good football team.
You were talking with the offensive coordinator, Doug Nussmeier, and Kirby Smart. Spent a lot of time with Alabama. You come up here, you spend time with Chip Kelly. You watch 3 days of film as to what they're doing. You spend time with Mariota. I mean, you know the two programs inside and out. And right now, at this point in the season, I love the fact you just give me a direct answer. You say right now you think it's Oregon just slightly ahead.
Yeah, I mean, both of them play good, disciplined defense. Both of them are extremely well coached, great fundamentals. But if you break them down, the team that has the most playmakers on their team is this Oregon team. And then defensively, I think Oregon is underrated. I think defensively up front, they're pretty darn good. Their back end is pretty good. Alabama has a great back end. Take a look at what Oregon has coming up here. You got Arizona State, Colorado, the SC on the 13th, and then Stanford, Oregon State. Now, certainly there's a chance for anybody to trip them up, just like anything can happen to Alabama, but it's going to take a huge effort in order to do that from somebody. When this team is on, and they've been on just about every week, and that man right there, he's responsible for it, and that freshman quarterback keeps on getting better. To me, he's the difference. That's the difference with this team from a year ago. They're playing good defense, and Mariota, he's legit.
You put up that schedule, and of course the Civil War is coming up at the end of the year, and that Oregon State team is playing some good football. 4-0 right now. They took care of business today against Washington State. Mike Riley has that bunch playing well just up the road in Corvallis.
Mike Riley's done a great job with that Oregon State team. There's some good coaching going on.
As far as what happened in the Pac-12 this weekend, that Thursday night performance in the second half by Matt Barkley and Marquise Lee was something against Utah. Stanford, Arizona was a thriller today. Arizona had the lead. Stanford came back. Stanford at Notre Dame next week. Game day will be in South Bend for that one. The Fighting Irish and that defense playing great football. We will see them next week as Chip Kelly and Steve Sarkisian share congratulations as Chip Kelly earns the 40th win of his career in only 46 career games. 52-21. Number 2 looked mighty good tonight. Sports Center is coming up. It was Shake Up Saturday in college football.